we were bored, and it got bad. It was one of those Wednesdays in the summer, you know, when none of your friends are home, nothing's on TV, and it got to the point where if I picked up another Xbox controller, I would have physically vomited on the ground. I was with Pasha at my house, and his mom dropped him off. She had to go to work. She wasn't a kid like us. But it got so bad that we did the unthinkable, which was, you all know, we went to Johnny Miller's house. Johnny Miller was a neighbor. He wasn't a particularly good friend of ours, but we got so bored that we had to start making friends. It got to the point where our friendship wasn't enough. So we get there, we go to the door. I ring the doorbell once. We sit there, we stare at the door. 30 seconds pass, a minute passes. I ring the doorbell again. 5 minutes later, after sitting there, I ring the doorbell a third time. There was no answer. It was at this point that I realized we just did not get into our safety school. We were going to be bored that day. So on our way back to the house, back to play video games, because I accepted the fact that vomit isn't all that bad by this point. We look to the left and we see this glorious piece of crap. It's a baseball. But it's not just a baseball. It's a baseball that some wildebeest, some Bigfoot got a hold of first, because it was ripped to pieces. There was nothing left of the baseball but the inside of it and the cover. My mom always said to me, "Why are you inside? Why are you playing video games? Why are you watching TV?" When I was a kid in Iran, we'd just get a tire and we'd hit it down the street. That would be our fun. That would be our day. That would be our life. No, Mom, no. I have the internet. That's what I said to her, and she said, okay. But the internet, I had exhausted it with Pasha. We went to every website twice. We knew Wikipedia backwards at this point. So we saw this baseball, we said, okay, let's do it. We didn't know what that meant, but we picked it up. And there was thread. There was thread, just millions of yards of thread, and we had no idea what to do. We were like, okay, what's under this? It's cork, right? What do they talk about? They say some cork is in this, so we started unraveling it, but it took a lot longer than I thought, because I started going like this, like this, like this, like this. But I didn't even make a dent in it. It was still this big. So we made a game out of it. It was interesting. We went back to the house, we got 2 baseball gloves, and we started throwing the ball back, what was left of the ball, back and forth until, you know, every time it came back, another piece of yarn would get looser. Probably did that for 30 minutes. And then finally we got to the end. More yarn. So what happened was we got a baseball bat out from the garage and we hit the thing, and we kept hitting it back and forth over Johnny's house twice. No one was home again, so it wasn't a big deal. And after probably an hour and a half of work, we get to this little other piece of crap. This cork. And we looked at it, and we looked at each other, and we didn't really know why this was significant, but we knew. In that time, we weren't bored. In that time, we did something. And we threw the cork away, we went back inside. The day was better.